Okay, guys, here it is. I've been holding off on my review until we got closer to when the film is actually released worldwide. It's going to be released, I think, in the US and the UK on the 21st of October. A lot of places already have it. I know people have seen it a number of times. I've held off as long as I can, but here's my review for Dune. I'm hoping to give you a bit more information, no spoilers, but some information that maybe other people won't have said because of where they're coming from in their life. I'm a big fan of Dune, the original, and I'll talk about that in a moment. So I'm hoping that you find this entertaining. Do chat down to me in the comments below. Let me know how excited you are for this, or do you think it's overhyped? Do you like the director, Denis? I think he's a fantastic visual storyteller. But let's get into it. So this is an adaptation from Frank Herbert's book rather than a remake of like the 1984 film. I've seen the original films, the original miniseries. I've read the book, interviewed the composer from the miniseries who works on the original film as well, and I think has done something in the score for this one. He's not the main composer, obviously, because we know who the main composer is. He's definitely been involved. So you can go check out that interview. It's on my channel somewhere. I'll put a link up. Suffice to say, I'm completely immersed into the Dune world. I love everything about it. It's expansive at its best. And many directors in the past have wanted to come and try and take this story and put it onto screen in a way that really kind of pays homage to what it is, the epic size of it, and the size of it is massive, which is why a lot of directors would take one look at it and to go, no, I'm not going to try that. And so here we have Denis, who has given us immersive experiences, visual storytelling. We had Blade Runner 2049, Arrival, two very visual experiences which are less dialogue heavy and more visual storytelling. And here we have very much the same. The difference here is we have an original text. It's been adapted from the book, and this is part one. This is not the whole story. So if you're going into thinking this film is going to be a complete story, you're thinking it's just all contained in one. That's not the case yet. In fact, the story I really want, or I wanted to see, is what comes next from where this film leaves it off. But don't let that dishearten you. It is kind of the prologue, the kind of origin of what they need to set up first so that we can get to the meat of the story. That's not to say that there isn't a hell of a lot to experience here. I do think this film will be very much diversive though, because of the way the story is told. There are two big films at the moment, Dune and Bond. It's a weird comparison, I know, but they are both long, they are both epic. For me, when I watched Bond, I came out of that film and my mind was stewing on it a lot. And the more I think about that film, the less I like it. It's a great film, but there are definitely issues with it. When I came out of Dune, the more I thought about it, the more I liked it. There are definitely issues with it, but the more I like it. And so that always kind of tells the test of time. Do I want to go back into the cinema and watch it again? Could I do that? For Bond, I need to leave it probably a good few months. For Dune, yes. However, there are a lot of pregnant pauses, the kind of where the director will hold on a shot for a number of seconds and you have your character looking out into space or looking in a direction. It's the mise-en-scene of looks where you're looking completely in one direction for a number of seconds, panning slowly or widening that shot, and the music will swell and it's visually just so impressive, and that can often, I guess, distract from the fact that you're still on the same shot. That is what this film is a lot. Vast landscapes, vast epic sets, but it does hold on them for a lot, and there's not a lot of dialogue. So, as I'm like I'm coming down hard, and I'm just kind of setting your expectations of what this film is. Visual storytelling, which is incredible. I don't think I've ever seen a film so vast in nature ever, ranging from the Ben-Hurs, the Cleopatras, to the Blade Runners. This for me is the biggest massive experience, and if you're going to experience it, you should definitely watch it on the biggest screen and the loudest speakers you can. It feels like it was totally created for the cinema, where James Cameron's Avatar was created for 3D with that in mind. This feels like it needs to be seen, and I'm very much a champion of saying, let's stay home. I have a 4K projector, Dolby Atmos surround sound speakers, blackout curtains, flip out chair, so I can stay home and enjoy everything in the comfort of my own home without wondering people whether they're going to shine the light, with their phones. Somebody's crinkling popcorn. Some kid doesn't like the film. Someone walked into the cinema screen going, yeah, oh, this is the wrong one. Some kids are trying to play a joke and walked in and going, oh, we get all of that. And sometimes your luck is just bad and you get all of that in one cinema screen. So I get it. I understand the argument of staying at home. This, however, it needs to be seen on the biggest screen and the biggest speakers, because it is just an epic tale adventure from the beginning to the end. And you're going to have your favorite actors, and there are moments that the actors get to shine. So where this film is just so expansive, Denis does something with this story that I think is really what nails the head of why it is so great. He concentrates on character. So the background is just this epic lore. You understand, if you're going into this film, you understand it's we're fighting for spice. If you know anything about the story, there are these warring factions, and there are spies within spies. There is laws within laws, and you're kind of thrust into the world. You just have to learn it. You just have to kind of figure it out as you go along, and the story does its best to kind of tell you that. But where this really works is we concentrate on one family, and there are a few characters that hold your attention for the most part, but I was so surprised for me who I thought was the best character. Josh Brolin, every time he's on screen, I thought his character just has this presence that you want to know more of. There are characters and actors like that in this film. I would say, though, I do feel pretty much lied to from all the trailers and the stills and shots from the film. Zendaya, if you were Zendaya, however you pronounce her name, I was expecting to see a lot more of her. She's barely in the film. So I think her big part is the next part of the film, or the third part, depending on whether it is greenlit. But I have to say, I was a little bit disappointed. I thought, why were you even in the trailers if you were only in the film for a minute or maybe 2 minutes? There are these flash kind of scenes, visions that she's there for, but for the most part, she isn't in the film. It's only towards the end that we see her kind of interacting with the story and what's going on without doing spoilers. Action scenes, when they're done, they are executed brilliantly. You get to see them. The acting is excellent with what dialogue they have. But where Denis comes in with his own is definitely the visual storytelling. The palette. It's like a delectable feast. As a lover of film myself, I can only but praise the best parts of this film. And coming from a 40-year-old dude who's talking in his conservatory, who's turned his conservatory into a studio for filming, what right do I have to stand here and pull apart a man that is a genius in filmmaking? This feels like his magnum opus, a masterpiece in its own right, at least in the visual storytelling and the score and the journey we go on. When it's complete, I feel like that will be like the Star Wars trilogy of this generation, I'm hoping. Yeah. There's so much you could say about it. Let me know your thoughts below. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Were you disappointed? Which part did you love the most? If you're going to do spoilers, do the ... Can't wait for everybody to see this, to see what people thought of it. Thanks so much for watching, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.